Should I be paid hourly or flat rate? Oh my goodness, this is a hot topic for everyone out there. So I'm a big proponent of both, and it depends on the shop and the environment. Most of my career was paid hourly with overtime, but I loved incentives, and there's nothing like an incentive that could get me motivated. But at the end of the day, you know, when this big debate about whether I'm paid flat rate or hourly, it's not necessarily about the money. You have to like where you work. So before we dive deep into this topic of how you should or shouldn't be paid, if you're not happy, you should start looking for another job somewhere else. But if you're interested in working at the place that you're at, you're happy, you have genuine people that care about you, you're doing good things for the community, and you feel like you're valued at your company, then let's continue forward. One, you should probably at least be paid hourly. We can all agree on that, and you should probably be paid overtime. One of the things with hourly versus flat is that what if the shop doesn't have enough work and I'm flat pay? The last thing I want to do is go to the shop and only get paid for 20 hours of work, but I was physically there for 40 hours. So if you're going to use a flat pay, you at least have to have a guarantee that makes me whole at the end of the week. So if 40 hours of pay is a minimum of $800, but 40 hours of pay with work might be worth $1,200, $1,600, $1,800, well, that's fine too, but I at least have to have a fair wage for just showing up every day. And with my credentials, that has to at least equal somewhere around 20 bucks an hour. When I'm performing and we have work, I want to make 25 or 30. That's what everybody wants to make, and that's what we see in the industry. You start getting up to $25, $30 an hour. That's fair compensation, but you should always have a fallback. If you're hiring techs and you're only paying them to come to work, or you're paying them to come to work for 40 hours, but the check actually only has 20 hours worth of wages because the shop wasn't busy, that's probably not a fair exchange of value for both groups. Now on the hourly side, there's a lot of us out there ruining that, right? So when I was younger, I was part of the team that probably ruined it. The longer I took on the oil change, the more money I got paid. But the problem was the business wasn't surviving. I was preventing us from growing, and I was part of the problem. So if I'm gonna do an oil change and the time is 1 hour or 1.5 hours, I should put in fair work for the exchange of value that I'm getting paid. At the end of the day, if you're not happy, you should probably get out of what you're doing, or not leave the industry, but move away from the company that you're at, or get involved and try to change, educate, inform. And one of the biggest problems that we have is there's no transparency. There's no information. If you don't have tech efficiency tools like you see in Fullbay, where I can see my utilization, I can see my efficiency, well, if you don't have any of that, well, there's no transparency. Well, the hourly rate may not work for you, and nor will the flat rate. So if you have something with key metrics to hold me accountable, and we agree to this exchange, there's nothing wrong with hourly, and there's nothing wrong with overtime. Just make it fair, play nice out there, and we all win.